with growingyourgreens.com to do another exciting episode for you. We're here in the fabulous city, Las Vegas, Nevada, here at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. Many tourists are here taking pictures and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a tourist, I'm not here to take pictures. What I am here to share with you guys today is to show you guys a place literally just a mile from here that's actually creating soil so you guys could garden. Whether you're gardening in Las Vegas or wherever you live. So this is completely amazing. This soil that they're creating is often used in hydroponic gardening for growing, crops of full term, or, for adding and using as seed starter, and for so many different things. So what we're gonna do next is actually head over about a mile from here and check out this place that's making some wonderful soil here in the great city of Las Vegas. All right, so now we're outside the factory of the Wondersoil company, and this is where they are making actually some soil that you can use and add to your garden to grow things. Yes, here in Las Vegas, the Sin City. So why I'm here today is to actually show you guys what this soil is, how they're making it, and how it can benefit you in your garden. So actually, let's head into the Wondersoil company and check out some of the products they're offering. So now we're inside the Wondersoil company here in their little showroom area with all their products laid out here. And now I'm going to explain to you guys what is Wondersoil, right? What's this soil they're making here in Las Vegas, right? So, it all starts, their Wondersoil starts out with this guy right here. You're like, oh John, that's coconut coir. I know about coconut coir. Well, for those of you guys that don't know about the coconut coir, let me explain to you what it is. The coconut coir basically comes from the coconut husk, right? After you take out the coconut inside that you could buy at your grocery store, outside surrounds it is kind of like, looks like a big football actually. It contains a real fibrous material. Now this is there, not for us to use as, in the ground for growing things in, but it's there for the coconut so it will be buoyant and float across the ocean. And because it has plant cytokines in the coconut, it allows it to basically stay fresh so that the seed can germinate when it lands on another beach, months, at a time. So the coconut is very fibrous, has a lot of fiber properties, and after we harvest the coconut and use it for the milk or use it for the coconut meat or the water, they have this all residual waste product known as the coconut coir. Now this coir block is 100% coconut coir, but this coir is different than any other coir on the market that I found. Like I said, for most places the coconut coir is basically the waste product of a food use coconut. In the case of the Wondersoil company, they source special coconut fiber. Now the coconut fiber that they source comes select from trees that are specifically grown for the fiber, not for the coconut inside. That's the first differentiation. Much like there's many varieties of apples out there, there are also many varieties of coconuts. I'm glad to say that I've had, a couple hundred different varieties because every tree is different, although it's not named. I've had coconuts that are nice and large and, Thai coconuts that are sweet. Then I've had coconuts that have like a lot of fibrous mass, but very little, a coconut in there and the water, which is what I'm after, but it has a lot of fiber. So those are the kind of trees they use to put in this coconut coir, the trees that have the most amount of fiber. Another thing that's very important that differentiates this over other coconut coir products on the market, because they're not all created equal and some will definitely perform better than others. I mean, I've gotten my share of crappy coconut coir before, is the way they process it. So number one, instead of just washing it like most coconut coirs are washed, they actually spray wash this so it's not submerged completely in water. So this may retain extra nutrition and retain different properties in the coir. The third way that differentiates this product is the way they process it, right? Processing, for most coconut coir companies, they want to pack in and compress the coconut coir to the smallest size to pack in the most product so it weighs the most so that they could sell the most, right? Well, not with the Wondersoil company. What they do is, number one, when they're processing the fiber, they don't, process it and cut it up into the same way that other processors do. In addition, when it is shipped over in these blocks, it's not compressed down as much. So the fiber and the structure, the cell structure of this guy is still viable. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is the difference between coconut coir and peat moss, right? That's something real big, especially if you're into environmentalists and being more sustainable, right? The coconut tree or the coconut palm produces like 100, 120 nuts a year. And that's definitely enough coconut water and meat and food for me to eat, but also you get all the nuts, right? And so all those nuts can be turned into the coconut coir product, whereas with the peat, you know, the peat is pretty much, for all practical purposes, a non-renewable resource. You know, peat bogs are not rapidly expanding as fast as coconut trees expand and grow more. A matter of fact, peat bogs are actually being degraded and disappearing. Now, yes, you know, it still may be a couple thousand years before all the peat bogs are gone, but the fact of the matter is, you know, we're destroying habitat to create things that we need to add to our garden when we actually can use a byproduct of a whole industry to put back in our garden to do things like conserve water, to hold water, to provide better aeration and better drainage in the soil with the coir. So this is the foundation product of all the different products that you see behind me. Next, I want to get into each specific one and share with you guys what makes it different than the standard coir block that's pretty much available, you know, at most home and garden stores or hydroponic shops. So real quickly, the next thing they got is they got the coconut coir cube, and this is basically the same as the other one, but it has some calcium in there. And then next they have the premier flagship product, and this is the Expand and Plant Organic Premium Planting Mix Quality Coir. So once again, this is using the same high quality coir that I discussed earlier, but now they're adding things to it. They're adding things that I agree with, like the worm castings. They're adding the mycorrhiza. They're adding different beneficial nutrients in there, including water-saving polymers and a fertilizer package that's going to allow for rapid plant growth. Besides that, they have a little smaller version. It's called the Expand and Plant Brick Plus. And then another cool thing, especially for you guys that have pets, you know, the pets will dig holes in your lawn and stuff. They got this one. This is the pet patch. So this is the perfect fill when the dogs dig out the holes. You could patch this up and plant some seed, and it's going to grow really good for you. The next thing is they have a whole selection of what I like to call tennis ball tubes here with all different kinds of products. So the first one I'd like to go over is the seed starting mix. And this is probably the product of all the different products that I'm seeing today that I love the most. Basically, it can be challenging to start your seeds. If you use just compost or just dirt from outside, your seeds may not germinate properly because the seed, you know, the dirt or the compost may not hold the right amount of moisture for you guys. You know, whereas the coconut coir will hold the moisture, and they've added other beneficial things in this seed starting mix, such as the worm castings and you know, some rock dust and other products that's going to ensure you have a perfect germination every single time. Now, all these different tennis ball tubes have different price points, but in general, most of them, except for one of them, about $10 retail price. But definitely, because you're one of my viewers, stay tuned for the end of this episode for a special deal on this seed starting mix that you can't buy directly from wondersoil. It's only for my viewers. So aside from that, they actually have a city soil and a garden soil product. So these can be used to, you know, grow things in little pots, little planter boxes, and these can also be used to add, you know, good organic matter, including the coconut coir, plus nutrients in the case of worm castings and fertilizers into your garden. Not too interesting to me. You know, it's a lot less expensive to get the Expand and Plant, you know, buy in bulk, save more money. Next, these are actually really cool products here. We got the tunnel fill and the tunnel plugs. So if you got gopher problems or, you know, moles or whatever that are digging up in your garden and leaving their holes, you know, this is what you need to fill the holes. Literally, these are little pellets that you kind of get in the little holes or their little tunnels, and this one little jar, right, will fill 50 linear feet. That's a lot of space. You put these guys in there because you can't just really pack it full of dirt because the dirt won't really fill. But you guys could put these in there, and then I'd probably take my air compressor, man, and blast some air in there and get these go down in the tunnel more. And then all you do is you take your water hose, fill it up in the tunnel, and then when the water hits these guys expand massively. And then because of a special proprietary formula in here, which includes things like the cayenne and the garlic, right? The gophers are not going to want to go back in that hole. They're going to avoid it and hopefully go to your neighbor's house. All right. So besides the tunnel fill, they also got the tunnel plugs, you know. So at the end of the tunnel, right where the gophers come up at the top, right, you do not want to put the tunnel fill. It's too soft and spongy, and if you got animals or yourself, you could still trip on that and fall over because it's just going to compress. That's where the tunnel plugs come in. So you're going to need the tunnel plugs to cap off the tunnel fill product, and that makes a nice hard ground area that's actually enriched with some of the same things they put in their other products, so that you could plant grass, plant your turf, or plant whatever you want on top of the ground, including your vegetables. And then they also have the jumbo size of that. And then finally they have little seed starting kits here. I like that a lot. That's actually made out of, once again, no peat moss here. This is actually containing birch, is the little starting cells, and then they have the coconut core fiber inside. In addition, they have this little sprout house, so especially if you got kids, this is a nice little simple all-in-one package that's going to allow you to have a little greenhouse inside. And check it out, and they have these little coconut core little pots here that then you're going to expand the little coconut core pellets inside the pot. It's going to expand, plant your seeds in there. Then you just basically close this little top up and you got a little greenhouse to start all your plants. And then when you're ready, you can just take this whole thing outside, stick it in your ground, and the roots will grow through this coconut core right there. So yeah, I love coconuts, one of my favorite crops, and yeah, fiber is very beneficial. Of course, if you have a lot of kids, or maybe you're involved with a school, they got this. This is really cool. It's a classroom gardening kit. So literally this kit, it's under $25. It's basically going to provide each child in a whole room or classroom 30 plantable core pots with the planting media and the seeds, so that kids can start to get growing. One of the things that I'm super huge on, that's super important to me, is teaching kids where the food comes from, letting them know how nature works. I mean, we're all so much on the computer these days, and kids are on their iPhones, you know. Get rid of the iPhones, get some classroom garden kits so that kids could see the process. They could get the little pots, they could use the little core pellets here, expand it into the growing medium, use the little marigold seeds, plant them in the pots, see the plants grow, and yes, you could even eat the marigold flowers. They're rich in lutein and zeaxanthin that are good for your eyes. Finally, they have the expand and plant premium planting mix. That's basically the same as the one that's compressed. I always encourage you guys to get the compressed one whenever possible, because it's just going to save transportation costs. One of the things I like about the wondersoil company is that they're not shipping, you know, soil products that have a lot of moisture away, right? They want to save money in the shipping. They want to save the nature's resources, save the world's resources, and then allow you to expand it at home with everyday natural water that comes out of your tap or out of your well at home. So what I want to do next is actually show you guys the power of these coconut core pellets here. You know, I've used them before. I've seen them expand. You guys have maybe seen them expand. We've all used the peat pellets that expand very slowly. Now I'm going to show you guys how rapidly these guys expand. These are the most fastest expanding core pellets that I've ever seen in my life. Alright, so before I get into expanding the little 2 core pellets here with the water, and look, it's not even that much water, I'm going to share a few more things about the wondersoil company and some of the work they're doing, you know, that's amazing. Number one, they've been here over 8 years now, running this business and constantly improving what they're doing so they can get great results, but more importantly, benefit the people of America and cities around the country to help them grow, yes, greener lawns. As much as I do not like lawns and turf and believe you guys should remove them to plant edible vegetables, which is a better use of space, or edible fruit trees and edible crops, you know, the fact of the matter is clear. Most people are not yet growing vegetables and may still have a lawn. So if you do have a lawn and are having challenges keeping it green using your standard, you know, chemicals and chemical fertilizers and all this kind of stuff, wondersoil has a solution for you, and it's proven itself time and time again. So now I want to take some minutes in this video to share with you guys some of the results they're getting, you know, using the wondersoil product to grow turf or grow grass. So check it out. This is really cool. You know, this happened last year here in Las Vegas. Now Las Vegas, definitely a really challenging place to grow a lawn, you know, especially with the drought and all this kind of stuff. And especially, you know, big cities have problems growing their lawns. I mean, I think big cities are horrendous because they use, you know, chemical fertilizers and chemical pest controls. And there is a better way. It's the organic way, like they're promoting here at Wondersoil. And this is a little study that they did here. Wondersoil versus conventional soil using the same grass seed. Floyd Lamb Park, Las Vegas, Nevada. And yes, I've been to Floyd Lamb Park. I don't know if I've been to this exact area. But what this is showing here is that basically the city did a test. They brought in 200,000 pounds of conventional soil without seed in 9 trucks. And it took 30 hours to spread all this soil onto the ground. And then they got literally 2 super sacks, which is not a lot, of wondersoil. That's approximately 2 cubic yards, approximately, or 2,000 pounds of the wondersoil with the seed in 2 1,000-pound super sacks. And it took 3 hours to spread. And they basically just used a standard, spreader to spread it. And then over here you can see, what it looked like on day 1. You can see the regular soil and the wondersoil. And then by day 7, you can see some of the results. You can see, this side's not looking too good. The wondersoil is looking better. And then by day 15, their side's looking pretty good. And that's probably what most parks near you look like. And then, of course, the wondersoil side looks amazing. Every park, every city in America, if they have a turf, which I still do not recommend. They should pull out their turf and grow edible gardens for people like Petaluma, California. Be sure to check my past videos for the edible park in California where you can literally go there and just pick and eat all the stuff. And they got a lot of berries planted, guys. Anyways, by day 60, check it out. The wondersoil side, nice and green. And finally, the regular side is almost there, but not quite. So, you just got a greener lawn faster, looks real nice, and a lot less trucking, a lot less diesel fuel and diesel particulate going into the air, a lot of cost savings, just the labor alone, man hours, super expensive, saved it all with the wondersoil. So if you want to be able to do that to your own lawn and you have, bad patches, just like my neighbor has some bad patches where it's, just dirt, and you tried to use those different patch fix things in your soil and it never worked and you still got patches. Well, you want to get one of these products here. These are available at your local Ace, Home Depot, Schultz, Carefree, and True Value. They basically make private label brands of the wondersoil company's product, and here's one right here. This is the one that's available at Home Depot. The wondersoil company makes this for the Vigoro brand, so they own a number of patents actually that allows them to have this technology to put it into products, because no other company has this same technology in the core products that they've invested the time, money, and research to basically make proven results. And that's what I want to really share with you guys in this section. I mean, here's another thing. They had a lawn, this basically was crabgrass, right? It just was not doing well, would not green up, Basically, they took just a standard fertilizer spreader. They spread a mixture of their wondersoil on top, and then, later, of course, check it out, all green. Now, this wondersoil works not only because it's a wonder, not only because of the coconut coir, but it's because of all the other things they're adding into it, which actually I'm going to show you guys in a minute. Some of the products, they have a bigger selection of organics and non-organic additives to add into their soil to make it the best soil in the world, to especially bring back your lawn to make it green again. So here it is, check it out. I like showing these guys when some of the big boys are selling products that don't really work that effectively, and how it really is. So unprecedented 10-day after seeding. So here's the Scott's Easy Seed, and Scott's the same people that make the Miracle Crop fertilizer, and the wondersoil with a certain seed. And after 10 days, right, their stuff hasn't hardly done nothing, and here you got a green lawn already. And here's a test of between the Pennington, the Scott's, and the wondersoil. It's their patented reground technology is more successful than any other growing medium for seed and lawn repair. So if it could do this for your lawn, what is it going to do for your garden? That is the question that I have for you guys. And now we're going to show you this here. The wondersoil company did a test here, and their coconut coir pots allow for easy planting and effortless transplanting without the risk of transplant shock. So I showed you guys those earlier. But here's a photograph of a study that shows 2 bulbs in the same type of seed, each planted in a different pot. The pot on the left contains wondersoil, while the pot on the right contains the standard coconut coir. Look at the difference. The one in the standard coconut coir actually is barely germinating, and still, after the study was done, they took the bulb out and planted it into the wondersoil, and it just never really fully recovered. This is very important to remember, and I want to impart this in you guys. If you don't remember anything else from this video, remember this. You know, especially when your plants are young, right? Especially when your plants are young, it's very important to nurture them and let them have the best level of health. Give them the best nutrients. Don't stress them out with too much water, too little water, because if you do and you stress out your plants when they're young, they will not produce fully for you later. So very important to remember. Many gardeners do not talk about this. I think it's very important because I'm all for maximizing my yields and growing the healthiest plants that are going to grow the healthiest food. And you know, basically showing in this is that not all coconut coir products are related to EQ. You may have heard of coconut coir before. I know I did before I walked into wondersoil. But after being here, seeing some of the research, some of the data that I've reviewed, I mean, the answer is clear. wondersoil is simply the best coconut coir product that I've found to date here. All right. So another thing, and the reason why I'm actually here today is because I filmed an episode, and you could check that, it's a while back. I went to Urban Hydro Greens. They're located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what they do is they have a 1,000 square foot warehouse that I was able to film in that's not normally open to the public. So you can see how they're growing, you know, microgreens inside a warehouse that they sell to restaurants and people all over Las Vegas to provide them some of the highest quality nutrition in the microgreens. And I want to definitely encourage you guys to grow microgreens year-round wherever you live. Even if you live in an apartment, even if you live in a condo in New York City or Miami Beach, you don't have any place to grow food, you can always grow microgreens and wheatgrass and sprouts. When I originally went into Urban Hydro Greens, they're originally using the traditional hydroponic growing methods, including a little mat that they would use, and the wondersoil. But since that time, they pretty much switched to entirely using the wondersoil because they learned that in the wondersoil, the microgreens grow faster, they grow more vigorous, and they can be selling their products earlier, which means they'll be turning product earlier, making more profit. But if you're guys at home, you don't care about the profits. You care about eating stuff out of your garden and the stuff you're growing. And the wondersoil is going to allow you to grow faster, grow healthier crops so that you can be eating sooner rather than later. And that's what this is showing right here. We got traditional hydroponics, and you can see, you know, the plants are just not growing as big. And with the wondersoil, 3 days faster and 2 times the growth. So I don't care if you're growing microgreens, I don't care if you're growing vegetables, I don't care if you're growing tomatoes, I don't care if you're growing medicinal herbs, you're gonna get faster growth, more vigorous plants with higher yields. And here's just some of the pictures of, you know, what the root system looks like. So, you know, that's truly the power of the wondersoil here. You know, basically, it's a special design core, processed specially, that they add their special nutrient packages to both organic and non-organic to basically make your plants have vigorous growth and be as healthy as they can. Next, I'm going to show you guys how these guys expand. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a close-up because it really is that important to see this up close instead of far away. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get to expand the coconut coir pellets. Now, one of the challenges I've had with other coconut coir pellets and even the peat pellets out there, which I do not recommend, is that they just don't seem to expand that fast. You'll pour the water on, you'll sit there, you'll sit there, you'll sit there. They even recommend using warm water so they'll expand faster. Here we just got some standard cold water right out the tap. Nothing special. You know, I would encourage you guys to use filtered water when expanding your core products, you know, and just using filtered water in general for your garden. I'm not a big fan of the chlorine. It's not good for the beneficial microbes in the soil. So we're gonna go ahead and just take this water and check this out, right? Pour a little bit of water on the top and then we'll pour the rest on the bottom. And check it out, these guys look like the snakes, you know, when you're like a little kid and you have those little fireworks of snakes, they're growing. And check it out, if you got kids, always let your kids expand your little core pellets because, man, kids love instant gratification, and this is instant gratification when you see all the water get sucked up in the core pellets. And check it out, man, now we got some nice soil to use in the garden. So what'd you guys think of that expanding coconut coir wafer, man? Pretty cool, huh? Well, now what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna go in to the manufacturing facility here at wondersoil Company and share with you guys how they make this stuff exactly here in Las Vegas. So let's check it out. Now we're in the manufacturing facility, which is where all the core is processed. They have a big storage area, and as you guys can see, they have pallets and pallets and, you know, of the coconut coir, and each of these pallets have basically 200 of the little blocks that you guys could buy, the virgin blocks that I showed you guys just a little bit earlier. And that's what they get in here, and that's what they sell as the virgin blocks. But see, That's not where the magic happens. The magic happens is where they take these compressed blocks that, once again, special quality Coir, unlike any others. You know, there's many different companies selling Coir. They've tested over 30 different kinds of Coir samples that they've got from different companies from around the world, from, you know, Mexico, Sri Lanka, and, you know, India. And they've settled on using a few high quality suppliers that they've identified that has consistent product with low salt. One of the biggest challenges with the coconut Coir is that it has high salt, and another challenge you know, that's not often mentioned is the way it's processed. If you compress the coconut Coir too much, you don't process it right, it's gonna wreck the structure, and then it will not work as well for you guys in the garden. So every batch that they come in here, you know, is tested, and they refuse batches if it does not meet their high quality standards. So what they do with this Coir here, besides just selling it as a raw product, which, you know, is good, but I'd recommend getting their one that has the, you know, action-packed nutrient solution in there. So what they take this Coir and then they process it further. So they don't just take the Coir and put some, you know, pixie dust on it and send it out. No, they go through a big process with all kinds of heavy equipment machinery here in front of me that now I'm gonna get to show you guys what they do to make some of the best wonder soil in the world. So now we're in with all the machinery, and they not only have one set of machinery on this side to make their products, they have actually two sets of machinery that are similar, but yet just a little bit different. I mean, this is a $2 million operation that would cost to buy all this equipment brand new, so nobody's gonna be doing this except wonder soil anytime soon. So what happens is, you know, they take these Coir blocks that get shipped over full and whole, and, you know, it saves on shipping. But then to make their products, they can't use the whole blocks, and they're not gonna expand it in water because they do not wanna ship water, once again, waste resources. They take this block and put it up on this conveyor belt behind me. It actually goes up into the grinder, and then they grind this up into the Coir fiber, or the particulate, that then they add nutrition to. And this is what some of the dust looks like right there. Look at that. Nice and dusty. Whoops. Is that like pixie dust? So after they got the dust, then they take the dust and then they amend it with other things, such as my favorite worm castings in the world, Worm Gold Plus, things like the Cascade Minerals, things like the azomite, things like mycorrhiza, all the good stuff that I'd recommend to you guys to basically increase your plant growth. So let's go ahead and take a look at, you know, their amazing collection of additives that they add to the Coir to make it even better. I mean, I have a lot of things that I add to my soil at home to make when I bake my soil cake. They have even more things than me, so this is really cool to see all the cool things they got that they add to the wonder soil to get great results. So now we're in the area with all the different soil amendments that makes the wonder soil possible. I mean, this is what they're doing. They're creating soil. They're taking the coconut Coir with all these different amendments mixed in the right ratio so that you guys don't have to figure it out, to provide you a one-stop growing solution. And, you know, I knew when I walked in here when they have the worm castings, and it's just not any worm castings, it's the Worm Gold Plus worm castings that I love so much, that they have done their research. You know, you guys could check my videos. I don't know how many videos back now. I did a video up to 400% plant growth by using the special Worm Gold Plus worm castings. These worm castings are different than other worm castings because how they are made, you know, and what the worms are fed specifically. So I'm glad that they're using the good worm castings, because once again, this is probably one of the components that's increasing the growth and allowing the wonder soil to succeed. Of course, besides the worm castings, they've also done their research on other products that I like so much, such as the rock dust or the rock powders, stone powders. They have the accelerite, they also have the Cascade Minerals, they also have the azomite. I mean, they have 3 different kinds of rock dust. I don't know probably anybody else in Vegas, aside from me and my house, I have 5 varieties of rock dust, that's using this kind of rock dust, you know, to amend the soil, to give your plants the trace minerals they need. This is what plants, in my opinion, including your turf, is starving for. It's the trace minerals. You know, most companies are concerned with giving you 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15 fertilizer, and they're forgetting about all these different trace minerals. You know, I like to add 70 to 90 trace minerals back into my soil in my garden to have explosive plant growth. But not only explosive plant growth, healthier plants that taste better when I eat them too. And they also have things like the kelp meal, and they have things like the biosol, and all different kinds of things, including water-saving polymers. You know, that they add to their mixture that's going to help you guys save water and increase your plant growth. I mean, I've seen the studies on it. I don't know if I believe in the polymers myself. I'm going to hopefully test it real soon and see what happens, because there's pros and cons adding polymers or pretty much plastics into your ground. They can be helpful, but is there something that's going to happen that's bad? I don't know, but I think they definitely can help. And in some wondersoil products, they use it along with some of the other products. They add some of the soil additives. They do also, besides having an organic line, they also have ones that have the conventional fertilizers in there, and that can basically provide a fast boost for the plants to get growing now that are water soluble. And then they also provide the good stuff like the worm castings, the rock dust. That's more time sustained release. So you get the hit now so your plants could grow, and then once that burns off, then you got the long-term success of some of the more organic and natural nutrients that I recommend. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you guys how they take the core and then add the nutrients. They mix it all up, and then they make some of the core wafers that you guys saw earlier. So what we're looking at now is where the coconut core goes after it's been fully ground up into a nice particle size. It actually goes into a machine like this. This is actually known as a mixer. And this is exactly what I need in my home to mix up my soil buns, because it's nice and large. They put the coconut core plus some of the other nutrients in specific ratios that they've learned over the years to get the best growing results. So they put it in here, they close the top, they turn this little auger thing on, it just mixes and mixes and gets even distribution of all the different soil amendments they're adding and incorporating it into the coconut core. So for example, one of the products I like is the azomite, and the azomite goes into some of their products. They'll take this, dump it right in along with the coconut core, mix it all up. Now, once they got this mixture, they don't just stop there, put it in a bag, right? They want to save space, save transportation costs, and provide the best value to the customer. So after they make this, then it goes into further machinery so that they can compress it back. I mean, it came in compressed and it's going out compressed to save space, but they've done a real big value add. They've added a lot of good nutrition to it, and this is truly what makes wondersoil different than all other coconut core products out there. Nobody has taken it to this level to produce the high quality soil that wondersoil is. So after they got the specialized blend of the coconut core with all the amendments, it goes into something like this. This is just a big hopper. As you guys can see, they got tons of the dusty like stuff. Now it wouldn't be too cool if they shipped you guys this dusty stuff. I don't believe you guys should be breathing any kind of fine particulate. And if you do work with rock dust or anything fine particulate, definitely recommend you guys wearing a dust mask so you don't breathe this stuff in. Now, coconut core in itself is non-toxic, much as is rock dust, but definitely the particle and the particulate is not good for your lungs, so that's why you don't want to breathe it. But that's why I'm glad to say that here at the wondersoil, they don't just sell you the stuff that's mixed up, they actually then put it into this hopper and actually run it through a tube that looks like a standard PVC tube, but it has an auger in it that's flexible, and the auger basically transports all the pre-mixed coconut core with the amendments through it to actually a tableting machine. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, man, this extensive network of machinery and tubing and pipes that just go everywhere so that they can make this wondersoil here in Las Vegas. All right, what we're looking at now is the network of machinery that makes the wondersoil possible, right? You guys saw the little hopper. That's that hopper that I was standing above just over there. It's that black thing, right? The hopper basically feeds the mixture down into that white pipe that goes up and over the top and over into this Y right there, and then it feeds that machine over there. That is a tableting machine. So they have 7 different tableting machines that make tablets of all different sizes, either small ones or larger ones, meant for different applications. So you could use some of the smaller ones for seed starting, you could use the larger ones for seed starting, you could use the larger ones to expand, to add to your garden mix, so many different applications. And so what we're gonna do next is actually show you guys how this tableting machine takes that uncompressed core and compresses it down and puts it into little pellets that is now saving you space and will expand to like 4 times its size to give you guys more wondersoil in your garden. All right, what we're looking at now is a tableting machine that's taking the uncompressed mixture and compressing it like 3 times at once, so it's getting a lot more mixture in there, so it's gonna save the space in the shipping. Literally, these are like 1,000-pound presses pressing down, and as you guys can see, it's taking these little compressed pellets. These are the same kind of tableting machines that you maybe still take vitamins and whatnot. You know, it's this kind of force it takes to compress the core down. Now they have, I don't know man, a half dozen machines to make these guys in all different sizes for all different needs. So after they make the core pellets, like I just showed you guys, and it comes out the machine, most of the time it's actually fairly dust-free, although sometimes it may have some extra residual dust, and they don't want to ship you dust, right? They want to ship you the whole pellets. So what they then do now is then they take the pellets actually that came out of the machine here, and they just put it on this little sifter. This is kind of like, you know, a compost sifter. And this ensures you get the highest amount of whole, you know, wafers to you. And this sifts out any like disformed wafers and all the dust. So after they got the product sifted out as needed, they'll then start to package it up. So most of their packaging is in small container sizes, because most people aren't like you and I, growing on a big, massive industrial scale, trying to feed you and your family. They just might be the hobby gardeners growing a few things here or there. So they package up the seed starting mixture, and they have, as you guys can see behind me, cases and cases ready to be shipped out to all the stores that they sell at. Now, one of the cool things that I've done for you guys today is, you know, I've negotiated special pricing with the owner who has worked with me to create my very own and world's first seed starting mixture. And so, you know, there's a few ingredients in their standard mixture that I don't like so much, and I want to even make it better and provide it to you guys as a special value at a special lower price than their normal seed starting mixture is made. And to make the cost less, what we're doing is we're getting rid of the packaging. I'm not a big fan of the packaging anyways. And what they're gonna do for you is they're just gonna take a standard bag, and they're gonna go ahead and shovel some of these seed starting pellets, and this is my special blend that I've specifically, you know, requested of them that they are making for me. So, you know, it has higher levels of the worm castings, the Worm Gold Plus worm castings than their standard mixture. It also has 2 different kinds of the rock dust that you guys know I love so much, the Cascade minerals and the azomite, as well as has the mycorrhizal fungi, which are gonna really explode your plant growth and actually help your plants use less water and saves water. You know, I did 1 year plants I did in my garden with mycorrhizae and without, and the plants that did grew much better. I mean, all these different nutrients that they add to their core pellets really, you know, bring everything together and make your plants shine. So basically what they're gonna do, they're gonna bag this stuff up for you. And you know, I negotiated a special bulk deal you guys aren't gonna find anywhere else. This is only for a limited time. I don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep this price, because this is a much larger value than you guys will be able to buy it for. And what I've negotiated for you guys, that you're guys are gonna get basically 4 of these bags filled up with my special seed starting mixture, unexpanded. This is 25 pounds of unexpanded seed starting mixture. And when you add water to it, it's gonna turn into 150 pounds of seed starting mixture. Literally, you can start over 5,000 baby plants with these seed starting pellets. You're gonna have over 16,000 little pellets in here. Now, yeah, if you wanna start some plants, you might need to use 2 or 3 pellets per little seed you start, but you could germinate over 5,000 plants, man. One-time investment, you'll be covered for seed starting mixture for probably a couple years, or if it's me, maybe a season or 2. So let's go ahead and share with you guys the exact box or package you'll get, and share with you guys how much these guys will expand once you add the water. It's insane. So now I'm gonna share with you guys a special seed starting mixture in the package deal that I've negotiated with the wondersoil people for you guys out there. And you're gonna get something like this, whether it's in a flat rate board game box or whether it's in a FedEx brown box, depending on where you live. It's gonna be one low delivered price to you guys, $39.99 delivered anywhere in the United States for 25 pounds of the wafers you guys just saw. Once again, it's my special mixture that I've specified. This has the things like the Worm Gold Plus worm castings, the 2 different rock dusts, the Cascade minerals, the azomite. Also has some soil humus, Alaskan humus, actually some really good stuff. And we can't forget about the kelp, something else that I really like. So it has all these guys in there, along with the coconut coir. Now the coconut coir, you know, once again, this is special coconut coir that has a good fiber in there, you know, and it's not processed too heavily. So this will promote, you know, excellent drainage and also excellent water retention at the same time. You know, one of the challenges I see with gardeners that they either overwater or underwater their seedlings and they don't germinate. I mean, this takes the headaches and some of the guessing, not all the guessing, out of germinating your seeds, because you're gonna provide the best environment for your baby plants. In addition, because of the organic nutrient package included in the seed starting mix, this ensures your plants will be off to a healthy start so that they can be healthy when they're young. Then you're gonna take it out and put it in your garden, and because the plants will be in their own little growing environment, you know, in the core, in everything they like, they're gonna be flourishing, and then when you put them out in your garden, they're gonna bust out and then grow into super large, healthy plants for you guys, because they'll have a good start. What's gonna happen is this guy is gonna come to you, once again, 25 pounds. You're gonna go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you guys what's gonna be inside. You're gonna get 4 bags. Now, these are Ziploc bags, and they are reusable, so once you're done emptying these guys out, I would encourage you guys to reuse them for something in the garden. I don't think I'd put food in here or nothing. But you're gonna get 4 of these guys. All right, last one coming out, 4. So each one of these guys, you know, now I recommend you guys do not hydrate all these at once, because these are in their dried form. You will only need to hydrate as much seed starting mixture as you need to use, and these are shelf stable. You guys can sit these on the shelf, right? Don't put them out in the full desert Las Vegas sun. Keep them in a cool, dry, dark place, and they'll store for easily a year, you know, and then be able to use it and ready, you know, whenever you want it by just simply adding water. So what we're gonna do now is actually we're just gonna go ahead and expand these guys and show you guys how just 4 of these bags, 25 pounds of the little wafers, fill up this whole entire super large wheelbarrow. It's totally amazing. So the first thing to remember is that you do not want to just like add all the pellets and all the water at once, right? If you're going to hydrate all of them, once again, most of you guys won't be doing this. You'll just be hydrating maybe a handful at a time or just a few at a time to germinate a small tray of seeds. So we're gonna go ahead and pour this guy in here. Whoa! And we're gonna spread these guys around in the bottom of the wheelbarrow. Now, once again, I wanted to give you guys a close-up shot of how it is to expand these guys, because it's definitely pretty impressive. So now we're gonna go ahead and expand these core pellets out. I got a 5-gallon bucket of water, and if you are expanding all 4 bags at the same time, it'll take about 1 5-gallon bucket of water. So if you're using like one of the bags, do like 1.25 gallons of water. Once again, add a little bit at a time, stir it up and let it mix up before you add more. So we're gonna go ahead and pour some of this stuff in there. Maybe we'll do a little bit more. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and mix this water around a little bit so we can get all these pellets expanded. And check it out. Now we got some wonder soil, no pellets to be found. I mean, this stuff pretty much expanded instantly, unlike other pellets that I've seen on the market. Wow, check it out, man. I'm super impressed. You know, I added the water, added the wafers, and man, it is like 4 times expanded in size. You know, so literally in one small package delivered to you, guys are gonna increase the size 4 times once you expand it, have lots of really good seed starting medium. Once again, I wanna remind you guys, you know, this is a sterile seed starting medium. Yes, of course, you could start your seeds in compost, you could throw your seeds out in your garden, try to start them, but you know, to minimize the potential disease and challenges you may have with starting seeds, I recommend using a soil medium such as the Wonder Soil seed starting mixture that I'm able to offer to you guys today. So now that we expanded 1 whole bag, let's go ahead and add a 2nd bag. I mean, man, by the 3rd bag, this wheelbarrow might already be full. So it's very important when hydrating your pellets is to basically spread them evenly around the whole bottom of the container. Don't mount them up in one big pile. And then when you add the water, try to add the water gradually over the whole area so you get even coverage. Otherwise, you'll have some pellets that it will expand and others that won't. All right, let's add the water. It's a tidal wave. All right, as you guys can see, the water's soaking in, and look at that. The water instantly disappears. It's kind of cool. It's like when the wave comes up on the beach and then it goes back out and then the water disappears in the sand. It's really cool. It's just kind of like the same thing. And look at that. All these pellets are now dissolved into a nice, rich planting medium so you can grow some awesome vegetables in your garden. All right, as you guys can see, I got some black gold here. The core with worm castings and all the good stuff. And it's expanded fairly well. I mean, we're like 3/4 of the way full now. Let's go ahead and add another bag, see if we can fill this puppy up. All right, let's go add the rest of the water here. All right, so I think the estimate of 5 gallons of water, a little bit understated, so we'll need to add more water. I ran out of water. You know, 5 gallons of water has already gone in here. We have a good mixture here. We're gonna go ahead, add some more water. So as you guys can see, we took literally 3 of those bags. Each of the bags weighs like approximately a little bit over 6 pounds. So 18 pounds of the compressed coconut core wafers, added probably nearly 6 gallons of water. And look at this nice soil. Now, besides using this wonder soil for your seed starting, you could also use it for other uses. So, you know, this is specifically designed as a seed starting mix, but if you got extra expanded stuff, man, I wouldn't have any problem using this in place of coconut core to add to like your raised bed garden to help improve drainage, help retain some water, and of course we got an awesome nutrient package in there, including a lot of the worm castings that are gonna hopefully increase your plant growth. Now, by no means do I recommend using this instead of the other things I recommend. I also encourage you guys to use the Worm Gold Plus worm castings, rock dust, and all the other things I recommend, so be sure to check my other videos for that. But if you got extra of this, man, be sure to add it, you know, to your garden and use it, and instead of just letting it hang out, you know, uncompressed like this. If you do want to store it, you can, you know, just save them and don't uncompress them all like this. And another cool thing you can do, you can just take a handful of these and dig a little hole next to your plant, put them in the ground, bury them over and water it, and it'll give a little boost because once again, we got that coconut core, all the organic fertilizer package along with the small amounts of the rock dust and the worm castings, the kelp. Man, this is some definitely good stuff. Now, besides just expanding it out and using it, you know, like this, there's some other ways you guys could use these pellets, you know. So say you don't like to make your seed starting mixture in bulk, you could just take like a little starting flat here and just sprinkle some of these pellets in the bottom of the tray and then simply take some water and these will expand basically in a tray, so you don't have to do all of them at once. You know, literally just the 3 bags almost filled up this whole wheelbarrow. So this is one way you could do it. So besides expanding the core wafers into a seed starter in a little flat here, which you can do if you start your plants in cells, you could do that also with this seed starting mixture. One of the things I like about this seed starting mixture is that it's very flexible. You do not have to unexpand it or uncompress it until you're ready, so it takes less space to store. So we're gonna just take literally like 4 of these little pellets, put it into one little cell, and we're gonna go ahead and once again take some water and expand these guys out. And once again, we're not paying shipping liquids. You're just adding the water. Once again, I do encourage you guys to use filtered water. So as you see, instantly these guys are uncompressing and filling each cell with the soil. I think I might even need to add some extra water. So that's how easy it is to have some of the best seed starting mixture available. Once again, I negotiated hard for this special discounted price and it may not last, so be sure if you're interested in this offer to buy it soon before the price disappears. This is definitely a good mixture. Not recommended for other things besides seed starting, but stay tuned to a future episode where I will actually probably start to make one of my own growing your greens core-based mixtures that can be used in the garden and for other purposes, with much higher levels of some of the good stuff I like to add. If you're interested in getting this particular package deal, please be sure to check that link below down in the description to get this special deal. This is not publicly available to anybody except you guys, my valued viewers. Thanks for viewing me. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning more about the wonder soil, making the soil here in Las Vegas that can be shipped all over the country and all over the world to let people grow healthier, better crops and also save water, which is a valuable resource at the same time. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep on growing. All right, this is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, coming at you from my front yard garden, and it's raging here. My zucchinis are so huge.